Abortion, a controversial topic. The great limitations imposed on women can cause great harm, and a lack of education can lead to unfortunate situations. According to the World Health Organization, 19 to 20 million unsafe abortions take place each year around the world. Out of all those, 68,000 deaths occur and millions more are injured.
A large portion of these are in developing countries who have strict abortion limitations or patriarchal societies, but these limitations could be moving domestically right into the Lone Star State.
A recent bill in Texas just outlawed abortions after 6 weeks of conception. This immoral restriction is already causing harm to some very unfortunate women. Recently, a 13-year-old girl was raped by her grandfather and was unable to get an abortion anywhere nearby her due to the new restrictions. She had to expend a great deal of time and many resources to travel hours away to get this unwanted pregnancy out of her system.
What many pro-lifers fail to realize is that the women that get these abortions get them for valid reasons. Many of these women are too young, financially unstable, and unable to support a child, and in some cases are victims of rape or possibly incest. According to the Guttmacher Institute, who conducted a survey, 48% of women who receive abortions are because they are unable to afford the cost of having a child or they are unready to care for a child.
So why should abortions be legal and readily available for women? As shown by the statistics earlier, women resort to illegal and unsafe abortions when restricted by the law. Women should not have to resort to these illegal abortions as a last resort form of birth control, but that leads us to wonder, what if women were given proper sex education so they did not have to resort to even legal abortion? Now that's something that both pro-life and pro-choice advocates can agree on.
Breaking news overnight, Alabama lawmakers passing what could become the most restrictive abortion law in the country. Steve Osunsami has the details. And Steve, a battle is brewing that could go all the way to the Supreme Court. Good morning.
That's right, Robin. The legal challenges for this law and others like it are promised. Abortion would be criminalized in Alabama, made a felony, and the way the law is written, it would punish doctors who perform them with up to 99 years in prison. The only exception would be if the mother's life were in danger.
House Bill 314 passes.
It's the nation's most restrictive anti-abortion measure, outlawing abortion in almost every case, including rape or incest. And this morning, it heads to Alabama's anti-abortion governor for her signature, and she is expected to sign it.
I apologize to the women of Alabama for this archaic law that we passed.
The bill was passed by a veto-proof majority in the state legislature, who are mostly men, and they fought so bitterly that at one point the debate had to be suspended.
He did not make a motion.
He made a motion to table.
He did not make a motion. There was no motion from the other side.
The long game for the lawmakers who wrote this law is the U.S. Supreme Court. They're hoping that odds are now better that today's highest court will overturn the 1973 decision of Roe v. Wade, which legalized abortion nationwide.
We were trying to keep it just as it was to address the issue that Roe v. Wade was decided on, which is that baby in the womb a person.
When reprogram rights are under attack, what do? Stand up, fight back.
Outraged women have been stalking lawmakers dressed as handmaids, channeling the television drama in protest.
In The Handmaid's Tale, it is all about women's autonomy because women have been pretty much treated like breeding factories, and we believe that this is what laws like this do.
This latest battle over abortion is sweeping across several states, including this one, Kentucky, Ohio, and others that have passed heartbeat laws essentially banning abortion at about 6 weeks, which critics say is before many women even know they're pregnant and essentially bans abortion altogether.
According to the research by the Journal of Adolescent Health, proper sexual education in schools creates students that make safer decisions and have healthier outcomes. Proper sex ed results in far fewer unplanned pregnancies and also less sexually transmitted diseases. Was that too?
Despite the great results that would have come out of proper sex ed, many states do not have it mandated, and many individuals protest against it in schools.
South steps of the Capitol before marching to the governor's mansion today. They protested the Texas Heartbeat Act, which bans abortions once a fetal heartbeat is detected. That's typically at 6 weeks gestation and before most women know they are pregnant. The measure.
According to the Guttmacher Institute, 3 in 10 American girls will get pregnant at least once before age 20. That's nearly 750,000 teen pregnancies each year. These women need access to safe and legal abortions so that they do not end up in terrible financial situations and that the child does not fall into a broken life of possible abuse, separation, and adoption or foster care systems.
Women have a right to bodily autonomy, a right to make decisions that are best for their body. Even if the fetus is alive, it does not have the same right to personhood as the female host does. As seen in Texas, politicians that are mostly men are deciding on laws based on women's bodies, and that isn't right.
As decided by the Supreme Court in Roe v. Wade, abortion is a human right and liberty for women in the United States, yet many seek to take that away. In many countries, this is not the case. However, there are heavy restrictions on abortion in developing countries, which is why there are almost 20 million unsafe abortions and why there are over 68,000 deaths.
Here in town, life became so difficult. So my daddy forced me to go and do my studies in the villages. So there at school, that's where I met my first boyfriend. Of course, he was a little bit older than me. Well, I didn't have any information about sex. When we were seated at school, my friend would be just talking about sex, and I didn't have anything to talk about. So I thought, okay, let me just start having sex so that I should also have something to talk about with my friends. So the third time we had sex, when we were done, he just told me that the condom busted. I was busy like vomiting in class. My teachers were asking me what's wrong. I would just say maybe it's malaria and everything. But I was convinced now that no, I think this is pregnancy. So I asked him that what are we going to do about it? Then he told me never to talk about it again, because I was getting on his nerves and he was threatening me that if I continued telling him about that same thing, he was going to beat me up, those threats. And I was scared of my dad, that maybe he might kill me. All this while I've been planning like to be a nurse when I'm done with school. Then this pregnancy, how am I going to take care of the child? I hear that people die during labor. I just wanted to have it removed. In our village where we used to stay with my grandma, there was an aunt somewhere just nearby. She was an expert in terms of aborting pregnancies and everything. So we went in the bush. Then she started digging some roots for me. Then I was busy like by the roadside, just peeping, trying to see if there's no one coming and everything. So she gave me the whole concoction. So in the night, I woke up, went to the kitchen and started boiling those herbs she gave me. So I was thinking that maybe just to speed up the reaction, I can just add some battery acid in it. But I just want to get rid of this pregnancy. So when I woke up the following morning, I was just feeling like vomiting. I vomited, but I never bled. I went back to the same lady. Then she gave me the second dose. So with that dose, I was thinking, how do I speed up the reaction again since the battery acid never worked? So I got some bottles and crushed them. Just crushed them and mixed it with the same herbs she gave me. Then I drank. I just wanted to have it removed. Yeah, I just wanted to terminate it that, so I just did all I could. Whatever came into my mind, I would just do that. No, when you're found in that situation, you don't even think of something positive. Everything you'll be thinking about will be negative and bad and evil, just to get rid of the pregnancy. I'm just so grateful that I'm lucky to have survived. I share my life experience because I wouldn't want girls to go through what I went through. Yeah.
Men shouldn't make laws about women's bodies. It is the body of a woman and it is her choice. Abortion is not something to be taken lightly, though. It is an important decision that a woman must make and can ultimately benefit her in a positive way.
Accessibility to abortion means that a woman and her partner will not have to raise a child before they are ready, and that they will not be thrown into a stressful financial situation. Accessibility to abortion means that a child will not have to grow up in an abusive and lower socioeconomic household. It means that a child will not have to live a life in the foster care system or up for adoption.
Abortion should be readily and easily available for all women who find themselves in a desperate situation, but we must also look into our education system that will properly show young adults how to be safe and prevent unwanted pregnancies from even occurring in the first place.